Radio check. Alright, looks like we're 5x5. Maybe a little bit of an increase there so you can hear me a little bit better. Turn the game down. So we're in the external view, and you can see that there is a little bit of weather moving into the Minneapolis airport. A nice line of thunderstorms is pushing through on the radar, and I think for once the simulator is doing a decent job at kind of simulating that, so we'll see just how far it goes. So let's go ahead and get in the cockpit, see if we can see any rain on the windscreen. Oh, it's very, very faint and you can barely see it, but it is there. Okay. Just wanted to see how realistic that was. Go back to the outside, you can kind of see in the distance over here, it's coming from the west. And it's coming in hot, and it does look like it is stacking a little bit, so maybe we'll get some lightning or something like we will in real life. I doubt it. Live weather in this sim is pretty broken, but one could only hope, right? Huh. So anyway, you know, you're probably wondering, hey, people don't watch this channel yet, but as they start coming in and they start looking at past videos and past flights and stuff like that, they probably realize, wow, this guy flies this route a lot. Well, yeah, the Minneapolis to Buffalo route is somewhat personal to me, and it's one of my favorite flights to do just ever in general. Feels like I'm taking myself between two homes. That's pretty much what it is a tale of two homes. And while I'm waiting on viewers to start sparking up and everything, you know, I like to come back to this flight every once in a while, and I do so with Sun Country because they have this route in real life. In fact, they just recently did it on Monday, and I really like this airline as well. So we're doing a Sun Country MSP to Buffalo turn, and just gonna have to deal with it. And then once we start getting viewers and stuff like that, you guys tell me where you want me to fly, and then it'll all be good from there. Cool. So let's go ahead and go inside. Now we've completely eliminated the overbearing wind sounds from outside of the aircraft as that weather moves in, and we will provide power to the aircraft. But before we do so, we're going to verify that the gear is in the down position, the speed brakes are up, the flaps are up, the idle, the throttles are in the idle position, reversers are stowed. Okay, good. Just making sure. Fuel cutoff, and nothing weird could happen when we do provide power to this aircraft. So we're going to go to the overhead panel, turn on the battery, arm the emergency lights. Let's get the dome light on just in case the weather makes it a little bit dark outside. We'll get the left forward fuel pump on for the APU, and we will get the APU started. That's your Boris Audio Works right there for the PMDG 737. Which in all reality is amazing work. So yeah, that APU is spooling up. The EGT is coming back down. And we're waiting for the APU gen to become available. So let's get our knob up here to APU gen so we can monitor. It's settled. APU gen is available. Let's go ahead and get that started. All right. We have 30 amps of power, so we have positive charge. That's good. Let's start by getting all of these panel lights on, because it is rapidly getting darker as this weather system is moving in. Oop. So we want to be able to see what it is we're doing, what switches we're hitting. I did turn on that light, so that's good. Okay, get these panel lights on. And the right side panel lights as well. Right on. Now let's go back out here and see what the weather's doing. Yeah, something's rolling in. It's kind of simulating it, so we'll have to see what happens when it's right on top of the airport. Cool. Alright, so today we are also on VATSIM right now. It looks like no one is online in the Minneapolis area, which is A-OK, but Cleveland Center is online, and they have been online for, if I could see it, an hour 48, so hopefully they're still online by the time we get to the Buffalo area. If not, then we'll just have to do our CTAP thing, but cool, so let's go ahead and start doing our flows. First thing we're going to do is get the IRS knobs to nav mode so those can start aligning immediately. And we'll go to the status page and see how long it'll take for those to align. Which we're looking at 8 minutes. Perfect. Alright, our flight controls, all our switches and guards are closed. We're in the good position here. Turn on the yaw damper here. Wait for the light to extinguish, which it does. That's good. All of our navigation systems are in the normal position. The displays are on auto and normal. Good. Left forward pump for the APU. That's good for now. We have positive amperage, so the APU is providing power. Our AC switches here are both in the on position. That looks good. Standby power is on. Auto is guarded. That's the main thing I'm thinking here. And the battery disconnects are closed and guarded as well. Good. English may be hard again for this stream, but we're gonna do our best. Alright. APU gen is on, that's good. The EGT for the APU is looking normal, excellent. Our equipment cooling is in the normal position, excellent. Emergency lights are armed and guarded. Fasten seatbelt signs can come on as we start loading passengers, given the flight attendant button test and the ground call, which they both work. That's good. Might as well test the wipers and see if those work. Yes, they do. Look at that. Especially if it's going to start raining, we will want those to work. Alright, let's get the window heat on. All are on. Excellent. Probes can stay in the auto position. That's fine. Anti-ice we don't need. Hydraulic pumps can stay off for now. Forward entry, that door is open as we're loading passengers, which is A-OK. Test the cockpit voice recorder. We get the green light. That's good. Cabin pressure, it all is looking good. 0 on the ground. It's just about where we want it. Let's go ahead and get these packs on so these passengers can be comfortable in the back rather than too hot, because 90 degrees would be very warm for the inside of an aircraft. Alright. Voice recorder auto. Cool. All of our cabs are in the auto position. That is A-OK. We'll leave it there. Packs are on. ISOL valve is open. APU bleed is on. Today our cruise altitude for a pressurization panel is going to be flight level 370. And our landing altitude at Buffalo is 727, which will put that to 750 since it rounds up. So look at that. This is good. We're in the auto position. The logo light's on. The nav lights are on. The aircraft is powered on. Sweet. Coming up here, testing our flaps lights. Looks good. Everything illuminates. 6 minutes for the IRSs to align, which is fine. The knobs are in the nav position and they are currently aligning, which is good. All this looks fine. The engine EEC switches are looking good. Crew oxygen is above 15. Passenger oxygen normal and guarded. Light extinguished. 3 greens for the landing gear up here, which is good. Flight recorder normal and guarded. doing a mock airspeed warning test and then the stick shakers, which they both work. Look at that. Alright, let's go down and work our autopilot panel. So today, again, double checking, ATC is not online for MSP, but Chicago hopped on, so we should get relatively, I would say, a majority ATC for the majority of the flight as we continue, which is good. But since there's no ATC and not a lot of people in the Minneapolis area, we're just going to go straight to our cruise altitude today, which we're looking 370. Good. Winds are favoring the 30s at the moment. We'll double check that before we take off, just in case the wind shifts on us, because that's what thunderstorms like to do. But for now, we'll go with the 30s. Cool. 300. And usually I set this to 160 because that generally is V2 plus 10 and then round it up. Cool. Autopilot set. The altimeter setting for Minneapolis right now is 2989er, so we'll go ahead and set that there. 2989er looks good. And from left to right, our DUs are in the normal position. We'll go ahead and give the FMC and autopilot lights a test. Good. Light everything up like a Christmas tree. Look at that. Okay. N1 set and speed ref in the auto position. That's fine. Fuel flow is in the rate position. That's good. Auto brakes we'll leave off for now. Flaps are up. We have 3 greens on the landing gear, gear levers down, hydraulic pressure will come up when we pressurize the hydraulics. We'll test the alerts on the right side, and those both look good, and DUs are in the normal position for that as well. Alright, come to throttle quadrant here. I always forget to set the parking brake when I load this aircraft. I wish it would just load with the parking brake set. Alright, we do have fault detection that works. Overheat and fire, we get the bells and the lights, so that looks good. Both sides of the extinguishers are looking good as well. Oops. Come down to the radio panel, we'll deal with our frequencies and stuff when we're ready to push. That looks good. Panel lights are on. We'll go ahead and give the cargo fire a test, and we have lights and bells for that as well. The weather radar looks just fine where it is. We're gonna, since we're on VATSIM, just go straight to TARA for our transponder. And we did get an auto ATC squawk code today, so we're looking at, where is it? Oh, 3606. There we go, squawking 3606, verify ATC. Once again, is still not online. No, it's not. I like to check that pretty often just to make sure I don't do anything without getting clearance first. Rudder trim is looking good. Aileron trim is in the neutral position. Rudder trim is in the neutral position. Everything on the right side audio panel looks fine. Stab trim is in the normal and guarded position, and the flight deck door lights are extinguished, and that's fine where it is right there. Cool. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is set our FMC to get these IRSs aligned. So we can go to the FMC, get position in it, and our reference airport is Kilo Mike Sierra Papa, like so. Go to the next page, GPS left, that will be the position that we set for the IRSs, and looking at about 1 minute still for those to align, which is just fine. So we'll go to our route page. We're taking off from MSP, which is loaded for us. It's telling us RNP is not available, but that's just because the IRSs are not aligned yet. They will be. We're good there. We're going to Buffalo, Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot. Alright. And our flight number today is going to be Sun Country 1057 on the way to Buffalo, and it will actually be 1058 on the way back. So now we'll start putting in our departure and our arrival info. So the route we have for this time is the Colt 7 departure. So we'll go to departures on the left side here, Colt 7. Double check the winds here. We're still looking at 330 at 22, gust 37. Ooh, that was pretty good storm that came through there. lots of power behind it. Wind gusts 37 knots. That's a good one. Anyway, yeah, 3 zeros, and again, no one's really at the airport, so we'll just go ahead and take runway 30 left. That's closest to us, and we're doing the Dells transition. Go back to route. We'll activate that and execute, and we will build our route from there. So we do have the Colt 7 departure, the Dells transition, and then from there we are going to haste Hotel Alpha Sierra Tango Echo. Yep, Echo. There we go. And that's a direct 2. And we are in the northern hemisphere, so that's definitely the waypoint we want to select. Cool. Then we're going direct to DAFLU, Delta Alpha Foxtrot Lima Uniform. And then from DAFLU, we're taking the J70 airway. So J70, we'll put it on the left side where these dashed lines are, like so. And we're taking that to Buell, Bravo, Echo, Whiskey, Echo Lima. And then from Buell, we're going to direct to the Dunkirk VOR, Delta Kilo Kilo, and that is actually the last waypoint there. And then the winds are favoring runway 23 for our landing in Buffalo, but ATC Cleveland Center is still on the line, so we'll go ahead and leave out the runway for now. We'll expect vectors and populate the runway later when we're able to do so. So that actually looks good for now. So let's go ahead and execute that. Go to our legs page, verify there's no discontinuities, which there is not. We're looking good there. Cool. So we'll go back to route and we'll do our performance init page. Oh, would you look at that? The rain is actually falling. It has, according to the sim, officially moved in, and it is raining pretty good here. Alright. Maybe we'll take off into the soup. That'll be a lot of fun. Cool. So we're going to go ahead. Yeah, you can hear it kind of pounding on the windscreen there. So we're going to set our zero fuel weight, which we're looking at 119.6. So our gross weight should be 135.5, and that just about matches. That's good. Reserves, we're looking at 4.1. So we'll set that there. Like so. The cost index it wants us to run with today is 74, so I think that's high power, not very much money saving. We're going up to flight level 370. Put that on the right side here. Our cruise wind, we're looking at 250 at 25. And we can execute that profile. Cool. So now our performance is set. Now we have to go to our takeoff information. So let's go to the EFB. First thing we should do is request the data from SimBrief and get our flight plan, which is MSP to BUF. Good. Let's go to Performance Tool. We're taking off runway 30 left. We're going to, oh, that actually auto-imported for us. Import the info from the aircraft and import the weather, which, look at that, it is up to date. Let's calculate that. Alright, so our select temp today is going to be 45, and we're doing a flaps 5 takeoff. So let's come back to the FMC here. We are doing a 45 degree select temp, so in the top left there, we are doing a TO1 D-rated takeoff. Verify right here, which is TO1, and 91.2, does that about match the N1 percentage? 90.3, close. I feel like once we get more info in there, it'll make more sense. So we go to the takeoff page. We are doing a flaps 5 departure, and our CG we can set there, and our trim value is going to be 4.92. So I'm actually going to set that real quick before I forget, so we have correct trim going there. It's not quite the max where it sets automatically. Alright, 4.92, there we go. Excellent. So let's go to the next page and the runway wind. We're going to double check again. We're looking at 330 at 22. So 330 at 22. The runway slope is 0 degrees, so we're good there. We're going to be looking at a wet runway actually now, so let's change that. So it's going to be a wet runway. We'll recalculate there. And everything is looking just about the same except for the V speeds. So that looks good there. Go to previous page in the FMC. And our V speeds do look to be changing appropriate. So 133, 137, and 142. That is all correct. So let's go ahead and paste those in there. Boom, bang, done. And that's about it. We'll double check our VNAV here. So the climb speed, it wants us at Mach 0.799er, which maybe we'll have to slow down a little bit there. Yeah, we'll have to monitor the cruise speed and maybe do a little bit of a speed intervention as we're going through this to make sure we don't overspeed and that we're actually climbing as well. That cost index that it gave us is pretty high, but we'll just roll with it. So we go to the legs page, the FMC is set. Now we'll get off of here, get our airport diagram loaded ahead of time. Even though I'm pretty familiar with this airport. I don't know why sometimes it just randomly jumps to the home page when you load a new airport in here, so that's something to be aware of. We are doing the Colt 7 departure. And the top altitude jets are 7,000, but again, there's no ATC online and there's no one in the immediate area that we have to worry about, so we're just going to go straight to cruise. Sweet. Alright. And talk about ATC. So now our IRSs are aligned here. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a TCAS check. Hit the test button right here. And we do get the bars on the attitude indicator. We get the traffic warning over here and all of the blips.
TCAS test pass.
And we get the audible pass, which is also very good. Alright, and we're going to set our radios. So the CTAF frequency is 126.7. I believe. I'll double check that. Yeah, 126.7 is CTAF for Minneapolis. So we'll go ahead and get that in the active up here in the top left. And we'll have 122.8, which is en route Unicom, on standby. Alright, oops. I don't know why I put that active. That was a mistake. Alright. Cool. Yeah, this weather's really going off now. Winds are still indicating 330, so we'll go with that. Alright, let's get ready for pushback. Alright, so yaw damper is on, that's good. All of our fuel pumps can come on. Verify we have nothing in the center tank, which we don't. Good, so all of the fuel pumps are on. We'll flip this over to Gen 1 so when we get the engine started we can make sure that we're getting positive charge from the engine generators. Good, fasten seatbelt signs are on, the probes are in auto, that's good. We'll go ahead and pressurize the hydraulics and watch that gauge come up in the green, which looks good. Alright, cool. So we have hydraulic pressure and the lights extinguished, good. The packs can stay on until we're actually ready to start, but those will be coming off. Good, and the last thing will be...
Minneapolis traffic Delta 2313, holding short runway 30 left.
That definitely needs to get turned down a little bit. That was extremely loud. My apologies. Alright, so hopefully I turned it down enough. To where it won't be that loud. That was actually deafening. Okay, beacon's on. Everything looks good up top here, and we're ready for push. Alright. And this is going to be an interesting takeoff with the weather that we're currently experiencing. So we'll say that everyone's on board. We'll go ahead and get our door closed. Good. And the ground surfaces, we can get the jetway to release. Alright. And we'll remove the wheel chocks. And we will get ourselves a pushback ready to go. Alright, so we'll go to this tool here. We'll pre-plan our pushback. And we are going to be pushing back onto taxiway Delta. Like so. And that'll be our pre-planned pushback. Bit of a tongue twister there. And no one's at Terminal 2, so we can actually just go ahead and move forth with this. So we'll do that right away. Alright.
Minneapolis traffic Delta 2313 departing runway 30 left, no delay.
Why is that so loud? Okay, hopefully that fixes the problem right there. Okay. Minneapolis traffic, Sun Country 1057 is at Gate Hotel 14, Terminal 2, pushing back onto taxiway Delta, Minneapolis. Okay. We'll request the pushback and get ourselves ready to go.
Minneapolis traffic Delta 12313 cleared of runway 30 left at 2,000 feet, directed to taxi Tango Alpha X-ray Echo Echo. Cleared of runway 30 left. Last call Minneapolis, cleared of runway 30 left after advisory.
Okay.
Minneapolis traffic, this is Delta 2764. We're taking off runway 30 left.
It does seem that we have some people on the field that will become something, so let's see what we're doing here. No one's at Terminal 2 though, so we're still good to push back. We'll release the brakes. Still have no audio from my pushback plugin, which is really interesting, so I never know when it's ready, but well, that pushback is falling. Alright, so we'll come up top here and we will turn the packs off and we will start the right ignition, and we're looking for the change in duct pressure, which we get. Looking for the right start valve to be open, which it is, and N2 is rising. And that's 25% N2, introducing fuel. Oh, yeah. You know, Microsoft Flight Sim hasn't done a particularly great job of modeling real-life weather, but I will say that this one was a little bit more on the impressive side because we actually saw the storm move in. That just hit Minneapolis. The only thing is that we obviously didn't see any lightning or anything like that, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. We got the precipitation and the low vis. Which is
Yeah,
fine
the
by me.
trophy is Delta 2764 passing 2000 to
Alright. Engine number 2 is stable.
Level 370, the
Left ignition.
runway 30 left is clear.
Okay, we have the change in duct pressure. The start valve is open on the left side and the N2 is rising, and we will set our parking brake as the pushback is complete. That's 25% N2. Introducing fuel. Alright, now that the pushback is over, we'll get rid of that window. Alright, and it stabilizes. Everything looks good. Nothing's in the red. Negative hot starts. Looking really good. Alright, coming from the top left here, so we're on Gen 1. Let's go ahead and flip to the engine generators. And we do have positive charge from those generators, so that's good. Fasten seatbelt signs is on. The probe heats, lights are extinguished, so now those are on. That's good. Anti-ice we don't need. It is way, way hot here in Minneapolis. So we're good there. Packs can come back on. We'll go to engine bleeds. We'll turn off the APU bleed. We'll put the ISOL valve to auto. And we'll turn off the APU. And that's good. Come down here. We'll turn on the flight directors. Have those ready to go. Brakes. The auto brakes are going to RTO. We're going flaps 5. And we still are not able to get our flight controls to display on the bottom screen here. I'm not really sure why. I feel like that may be a bug of some sort. Oh. I think it's entirely possible that I just had a WASM crash. Yep, I think believe we just had a WASM crash, which is very unusual for PMDG and Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. And I don't think there's anything we can do. I think I am obligated to restart the sim or something. Wow. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to go to the Be Right Back screen. I'm going to try and reload this, and hopefully we have better luck the second time around. We'll load into a turnaround state at the gate here in MSP and go from there. So, my apologies. I will return. Ooh, excuse me. And, yeah. Be right back. Alrighty, so we had the unfortunate events of a WASM crash, which for you guys that don't really know what that is, it basically it's the program that runs all of the displays in your plane, such as like you know, the screens here and even the analog gauges, the flaps display, everything like that. All of the displays were completely frozen, and there is no coming back from that. You have to reload the sim and reset the entire flight, which is insanely obnoxious, and I'm very surprised that this happened with PMDG and Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Now, there was an update for the flight sim that came out, I believe, within the last couple of days, and maybe something happened there, and PMDG has to update the 737 after all of that. So we're in a turnaround state, and I basically have to redo all of the flight plan stuff that I did. So I'm just going to try and speed through that real quick. Oh. So we already have position data, at least I hope. Yeah, we do. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to, as fast as I can, get everything loaded into the FMC. And actually, this gives me a chance to double check the winds. Which, oh, now they're in favor of the 1-2s. Nice. Okay, so we'll do a departure from runway 12 right. Dallas transition, route, activate. No, it's a good thing we didn't take off then on the 3-0s. I would have checked anyway, but because thunderstorms can make things change in a matter of seconds. But pardon me as I just plug away at everything. And Dunkirk. Oops. This is why you don't rush things, because you make mistakes all over the place. 4.1. I think I'm going to reduce that cost index by a bunch and just go with 30. Because that had us going really fast. 250. Okay. Execute that profile. We're doing a TO1. 45 was our select temp. 90.3. Yep, looks about right. 4.92 on the trim. We'll set that again. This is unfortunate. I'm not doing it from a cold and dark setting, so to speak, but I am. Putting in information as if we're just about cold and dark. So, okay. The V-speeds look correct. Good. Okay, the FMC's program. Now let's get ourselves ready for pushback, shall we? I say yes. Yes, we do. Switch over there. We can turn off the ground power, which is off, so that's good. And we'll release the ground power as well. Seatbelt sign is on, good. Window heats need to all come on. There we go. Hydraulic pumps. Verify that gets in the green. Oh yeah. Do not forget to reset the pressurization panel. That could be bad news. 750. Alright, packs are on auto. Alright. And we should be set for pushback. Alright. That was an absolute disaster. VATSIM crashes are probably the most frustrating type of crashes you can have because there's no way around it. You have to reset the sim. So let's try this again. And I have to reset all my frequencies in VATSIM and everything as well. This is going really well. Okay. Okay. Pushing back onto Delta. Leave it there. Cool. Oh yeah, and our squawk code was 3606. Then let's actually go down and verify our transponder's in the correct mode. Now it is. Alright, so the jetway's disconnected. Everything is looking how it's supposed to, so let's go ahead and initiate pushback. Alright. Sweet. There's a Southwester right next to me. And he's going somewhere. I don't know where, but he's going somewhere. Wait for the prompt to release the brakes. Alright, brakes release. And let's take to this whole startup series. I'm just going to double check and make sure everything looks how I want it to look. Yes, it does. Sweet. Okay. Alright. So the packs are coming off. Right ignition. Going to ground, looking for the change in duct pressure, which we have start valve open on the right side, and N2 is rising. (25% N2) introducing fuel. Everything is looking very good coming up. Alright, engine 2 has a good start now for engine 1. Come up to the top here, ignition to ground. We have the change in duct pressure. Good. Start valve is open, and the N2 is rising. There's 25% introduced fuel. And the tug seems to be pulling away. And we can get rid of the plug-in. Engine 1's looking pretty good. Oh, you know what? I forgot our autopilot is completely reset too. And we're going to be taking off runway 12. We're going to be in VNAV mode, but it never hurts to set our speed like so. And the altimeter is now 2985, so that's quite a drop. It was 2989er before. Okay. Alright. So we have two good stable engine starts coming up here. Thing looks good, and we'll get the engine generators on. And we have positive amperage, so that's good. Fasten seatbelts are on, window heat's on, probes heat, the lights are extinguished, that's good. All of the lights extinguished up here. Backs can go to auto, get the engine bleeds on, the APU bleed off, ISOL valve to auto, and the APU can come off as well. Alright, auto brakes to RTO. And we're going flaps 5. And right here is where WATSIM crashed last time, so we're going to watch it very closely. Look at that. Alright. That looks good to me. And we also know that we don't get our flight control page at all, so we're just going to skip the flight control check. You wouldn't in real life, but this is a sim and we're trying to get out of here. So, cool. Taxi light's coming on. Brakes are coming off. And I think we're ready to go. Yes. Ready to go. Cool. Minneapolis traffic, Sun Country 1057 is at Terminal 2, going to be taking Delta Whiskey to runway 12 right, Minneapolis. Alright, engine's up to 40. And you know what, we gotta turn the flight directors on again. Got a little bit of a southwest taxi going here, 22 knots. That's alright, because we're trying to make up some time. Alright, Whiskey is coming up on the left here, so we will make our left turn, slow down so we don't turn going way too fast. Not trying to throw our passengers around. clear on both sides. Okay, good. Alright. Minneapolis traffic, Sun Country 1057 is crossing runway 22 on Whiskey, Minneapolis. Do better than that. Crossing a runway, go faster. There we go. Strobes are coming off. Landing lights can all come off. We'll go ahead and arm the auto throttle mode. We'll also arm VNav and LNav. Just have those ready to go for after we take off. And take a little peek at VATSPY here, or VATSIM radar. And we don't have anyone in the immediate vicinity, so we can take off and pretty much vector ourselves to join our departure. And the displays are all still looking good, fingers crossed. Alright, I think we take the runway. Okay, landing lights are all coming on, strobes are coming on, wing inspection lights will also come on, just in case we run into some icing as we gain altitude. I don't think we will, but just in case. Minneapolis traffic, Sun Country 1057 is taking runway 12 right, departing eastbound on Colt 7 departure, Minneapolis. Alright. Approach is clear, departure's clear, clear to enter the runway. Alright. Alright, and I have 12 right, engine's going to 40%. Make sure they're stable. And the wind's coming a little bit from the left side, so we'll get that left aileron in. Forward nose pressure, engines are stable. Oops. And toga power. And as we pick up speed, we'll walk that aileron out.
80 knots.
Cross check. Release forward pressure.
V1. Rotate. V2.
Alright, nice.
Pause the brake.
Gear up. There we go. Much, much better. At about 20 degrees nose up. First 1,000 feet. A little bit of wind shear coming up here, so we'll pitch down and gain some extra speed just so we don't lose any. Okay. So the last thing we want is to lose speed, be too slow, and then wind shear bites us where we don't want to be bit. Right, so we'll pitch down now. We're about 3,000 feet. Flaps are going to 1. And we'll go to our legs page and we'll go direct to taxi. We'll execute that. And we'll go LNAV mode. And flaps are coming up. And we'll engage the autopilot just to decrease the workload a little bit here. Alright. Flaps are up. The gear's up, so auto brakes are coming to off. The gear lever is going to off. Cool. We're getting to about 250 knots. This is not too bad of a job. This is live weather, and we're seeing isolated vertical stacks, kind of like what actually exists in the Minneapolis area right now. So with all of the terrible live weather that I've gotten in recent sim experiences, I gotta say I am impressed with this one, and I am thoroughly enjoying it, minus the WATSIM crash. So 100 gauges are still looking good. We are now VNAV, LNAV mode, flaps are up, gear is up, everything. Everything is okay now. Sweet. Cool. And we're far enough from the airport, we'll go over to advisory 122.8. En route CTAP, if you will. And we will be expecting Chicago Center. Oh, 10,000 feet. Notify the flight attendants. And we'll get our landing lights off. Come on. Scroll wheel. Always doing weird stuff. Okay. Glad that my flight plan in VATSIM stayed even after that crash, so I didn't have to worry about filing all over again. That's pretty nice. Haha, what is up, Toasty Oats? We have our fingers crossed and everything is it's going okay so far. Still on your trucking sim? And reducing the cost index did in fact help us slow down a little bit, get to our cruise altitude a little bit faster, that's for sure. Alright, 18,000 feet, going to standard altimeter. Good stuff, good stuff. It's nice to have things running smoothly again. I didn't even prepare the EFB the second time around, so we got our data, MSP to BUF, good. Go to the departures. We are on Colt 7. I mean, we're pretty much on it, so we don't really have to look much at it anymore, but it's always good to have it on standby just in case. And we do know that Chicago Center's online. It seems like there's only one guy with one frequency, so 134.875. So we'll have that on standby, and then once he gives us a ring, we will switch over to his frequency and have ATC. And we'll see how long Cleveland holds up for. It's been almost 3 hours for him, but he's still online. So maybe he's waiting for us. I doubt it, but maybe. Look at that, Toasty, you're my #1 fan. Is this, do you know anything about this new top fan thing for YouTube? Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty new. It's a weird thing. Should I sit sideways and pretend like I'm looking out the window? No, this isn't realistic at all because I don't have to bend over to see anything. Yes, I will take a coffee. Right, and I believe that that turn concludes the departure. Well, Humphrey to Dells, and then, yep, that does conclude the departure after Dells. I do believe we'll hit our cruise altitude before we reach Dells. Like that stream up. Do not like that. That's a pretty cool view. Alright, still about 7,000 feet to go before cruise altitude, which is not terrible, but we're getting there slowly but surely. It's only a matter of time before we get pinged by Chicago Center as well. Wing inspection lights can come off. We're not going through any icing anymore, so we're good. If we even were at all. Very surprised that SimBrief gave me the Colt 7 departure. Typically this route has been using the Wellstone 7. Maybe it's even Wellstone 8 now, I don't know, but the Wellstone departure is typically what's used for this route. Could be weather based, it could be a SimBrief thing, I'm not entirely sure. But that's alright, we SimBrief it and we just roll with it. Okay, I should be hearing from Chicago Center very shortly. There it is.
Chicago Center United 2185, level descent 0.
Yeah, 2185 Chicago Center, radar contact 1.
Chicago Center, good evening, Sun Country 1057. I totally screwed that up.
Sun Country 1057 Chicago Center, radar contact 1.
I should have absolutely made my call when I was looking at my altitude.
Yeah,
That's
2185, just drop 8 as Alpha for you there at Madison. Madison winds 190 at 6. Cloud
Can
Slayer
just-
at few at 4,000, altimeter 2990.
Can just pretend like my mic cut out.
18 RNAV
Why not?
available on request.
We'll take the visual 18 at 2185.
You can expect the visual 18.
We will expect visual 18, and we're just about here at the top 5%, 2185.
Yeah, 2185, at positive discretion, center maintain level 240.
Discussion down 240, 2185.
That's 1126 Chicago Center, climb maintain level 310, resume normal speed.
$1,000 to go.
American 489, airborne passing 2,500. American 489, Chicago Center, roger, climb and maintain level 350, clear direct squib. Flight level 350, direct squib, American 489.
Alright. We're at our cruise altitude of 37,000 feet, flight level 370. The air is looking pretty good up here. We're not getting tossed around or anything like that, so I think it's about time we come up top and we flip those seatbelt signs to the off position. Alright. Here we are. We are now in cruise. We will be for a while, so let's sit back, relax, enjoy the ATC that we have online at Chicago Center, and look at the view. And we'll be just on standby, chilling over here.
I'm with 140 Chicago Center, roger, climb maintain level 330, resume normal speed. Resume normal speed up to 330, on the way 40, 140. At 2185 at positive discretion, descend and maintain 11,000, the Madison, altimeter 29090.
2990 for the altimeter, pilot discretion down to 11,000 at 21.
Center United 8122 at 10,000. Yeah, 122 Chicago Center, roger, climb, maintain level 370, resume normal speed. Climb, maintain flight level 370, resume normal speed, United 8122.
Such a gorgeous sunset view, although the outside noise is pretty extensive, so we won't stay on that view for too long. One of these days I'll figure out how to make it less aggressive, but for now, limit the external view just because of the noise. We do have plenty of internal views though. Attention to detail is important.
Chicago Center, United 1470, it is at flight level 310.
These scratches are impressive.
34 miles southwest of the Mason City. United 1470, Chicago Center radar contact. Position is reported. Welcome. At 2185, turn 10 degrees left, vectors for the airport, set and maintain 10,000.
10 degrees left, and we're down to 10,000 at 2185.
Toasty, my brother, you still there?
Chicago Center, United 2427, 11,000, climbing 1 to 5,000, back mobile. United 2426, Chicago Center, Roger, climb, maintain level 350, resume normal speed. Level 350, normal speed, United 2426. Delta, com check. Unclear. Chicago Center 6549 Delta is just departed. Airport Jail is going direct to Waukesha. There is 6549 Delta, Chicago Center. You looking for 942 Oshkosh? Affirm if possible. 6549 Delta, ident please. Ident for 6549 Delta. Apologies, 6549 Delta, squawk 0077 and ident. 007 and ident for 49 Delta. Blue Streak 103, contact Cleveland Center 119.87. 1987 for Blue Streak 100, see you later, have a good day. Yeah, 2185, descend and maintain 5,000.
5,000 at 2185.
And 1470, descend via the Flight 7 arrival. Here is landing east, O'Hare altimeter 29090. Chicago Center, Southwest 1542, descending through flight 131 through Site 2. Southwest 1542, Chicago Center, welcome. You have 1470, descend via the Flight 7 arrival, here altimeter 29090. 29090, descend via Flight 7 arrival, 1470. South 1542, descend via the ND7 arrival, runway 4 right transition, midway altimeter 29091. Descend via ND7 4 right transition, 29091, 1542. 654 Papa Delta, check that transponder please at 0077.
0077 for 49 Delta.
And 654 Papa Delta, get your radar contact now 25 miles northeast of Dells for TAC. Say altitude please.
We're at 13,000, staying at 13,000 for 6549 Delta.
49 Delta, roger. You cleared to the Oshkosh Airport as filed, maintain 13,000.
Clear to Oshkosh as filed, maintain 13,000 for 6549 Delta.
Delta 1126, I'll tell you what, cross Tinder at and maintain level 230. Delta 1126, it's going to be Tinder, it's Tango India November Delta Romeo, TINDR, Tinder level 230.
Chicago Center, Atlas 241, level 350, 87 arrival.
Atlas 241, Chicago Center, got your radar contact, welcome. For 6549er Delta, positive scratch descent and maintain 5,000. The Oshkosh altimeter 298.9er.
5,029.89er for 49 Delta. Just to confirm,
Delta 1126, a firm, Tinder 210. Envoy 4140, contact Cleveland Center 119.87.
119.87, Envoy 4140.
American 49, contact Cleveland Center 119.87.
Over to Cleveland, 1987, correction, American 49, Apple.
Delta 1126, cleared direct Tinder. Yeah, it's 185, turn right, heading 180.
Right, 180, unit 2185.
Yeah, 2185, so maintain 3,000.
And down to 3,000, 2185.
Yeah, it's 185. Continue the right turn heading 220.
Continuing 220, unit 2185.
Yeah, it's 185 in the turn. The Madison Airport's going to be at your, what's called 1 to 2 o'clock and 7 miles Port Field site.
We've got field at 2185.
Yeah, it's 185. Cleared visual approach runway 18 Madison.
Good visual 18, United 2185.
Atlas 241, couldn't remember, we're approaching top of drop, did you give start to clearance?
I did not. So I was 241, descend via the ND7, arrival runway 4 right transition, midway altimeter 2991.
Descend via ND7, 4 right, 2991, Atlas 241, thanks.
Number 654 Papa, 654 Niner Delta. You clear direct to the Oshkosh Airport, center maintain 3,000.
Direct Oshkosh 3000 for 6549 Delta.
Number 654 Niner Delta Oshkosh weather wind 220 at 3, clear skies altimeter 298 and 9er. You can expect a visual approach runway 36.
298, 9er, expect 36.
185, wind 1906, runway 18, clear to land.
18, clear to land, that's 185.
Delta 1126, contact Cleveland Center 119.87.
Contact Cleveland Center, thank you.
United 8122, contact Cleveland Center 119.87.
119.87, United 8122.
Okay. Number 654 Pop, Niner Delta rather, the Oshkosh Airport at your 11 to 12 o'clock and 10 miles Brookfield inside.
Field inside for 49 Delta.
49 Delta, you clear visual approach runway 36, Oshkosh.
Clear visual 36, Oshkosh 49 Delta.
That's 185, welcome Madison, you can text terminal by Alpha, have a good night.
To the terminal via Alpha, have a good night, that's 28. Yeah, 2426, contact Cleveland Center 119.87.
119.87, 2426, thanks for your help. Okay. For 6549er Delta, Oshkosh, wind 2203, rolling 36 per land.
2679 for 49 Delta.
South 1542, clear direct ND, cross ND at and maintain 6000.
Direct ND 6000, Southwest 1542.
Chicago Center, good evening, Unit 2683, flight level 320.
2683, Chicago Center, Roger 1. 6549er Delta, Roger, you can text to parking at your discretion. Have a good night.
My discretion. Have a good night. 49 Delta.
Sun Country 1057, contact Cleveland Center 119.87. Good night.
11987 Sun Country 1057. Have a good night.
South 241 clear, direct.
Boy, that was terrible. What an absolute stutter on my part. Cleveland Center, good evening. Sun Country 1057, flight level 370.
Sun Country 1057, Cleveland Center, welcome.
All of a sudden I can't speak.
Blue Streak 103, cross Dunkirk at and maintain 11,000, the Buffalo altimeter 3002.
3002 will cross Dunkirk and maintain 11,000.
November 77 Juliet, radar contact approximately 30 miles west of the Keating VOR. Altitude indicates 3,500, climb maintain 7,000. And clear direct, please.
Climb maintain 7,000, clear direct, please, 7,700.
And November 77 Juliet, the Jamestown altimeter is 3009er.
0977 Juliet. Cleveland Center, Canada 314 with the flight level 230.
Canada 314, Cleveland Center, low climb maintain, flight level 330.
I'm maintaining flight level 330, Canada 314. Cleveland Center,
Delta 1126, they firm, that's what I gave you, the Island Zulu, runway 2 to right. Delta 1126, looks like you are coming off the star just a little bit. Turn right heading 130, vectors for your approach. Descend and maintain 6,000.
Sorry, guys, you're right heading 130. Cleveland Center, Lindbergh 4447 with you, passing flight level 204 for 240. Just north of the Stones Grove VOR.
Lindbergh 4447, Cleveland Center, roger, welcome. American 49, contact Toronto Center 125.77.
2577, American 49, thanks for service, have a good one.
ABEX 2302, welcome to Cleveland, contact ground point 7, see ya.
Point 7, see ya, thank you, ABEX country 302.
United 2426, cleared, direct Bucko.
Direct Bucko, United 2426.
Sun Country 1057, clear direct Dunkirk, VOR, Delta Kilo, Kilo.
Clear direct Dunkirk, Sun Country 1057. Alright, so we were cleared direct to the Dunkirk VOR, so that is going to be the end of our route, and we can expect a runway from there, and it looks like that might help us get our top of descent, or start our descent a little bit quicker, so we're looking good.
Delta 1126, descend and maintain 3000. Delta 1126, 4 miles from Joy, turn right heading 190, maintain 3000 until established localizer cleared, ILS Zulu, runway 22 right approach. And cleared for the ILS Zulu, runway 22 right approach. Delta 1126, the wind's 150 at 5, runway 22 right, clear line.
Goodman Center, Lindbergh 4447.
Lindbergh 4477, Cleveland Center.
Can we get anything higher, 280 per chance?
Lindbergh 4447, climb maintain, flight level 280.
So 280, Lindbergh 4447, thank you.
You bet. Lindbergh 4447, clear direct Nolan.
Greg Nolan, Lindbergh 4447.
Delta 2573, information X-rays, current you can plan the ILS runway 21 left approach. Delta 2573, information X-rays, current plan ILS runway 21 left approach.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll plan for the ILS 21 left approach for Delta 2573.
Delta 2573, fly present heading vectors for the approach, descend and maintain 6000.
We'll fly present heading and can I get the altitude?
Descend and maintain 6000.
Descend and maintain 6000 for Delta 2573.
Air Canada 314, contact Boston Center 134.7, see ya.
34.7, Air Canada 314, yeah.
Blue Streak 103, information Foxtrot, current plan ILS runway 23 approach.
Yeah, Fox on board and we'll pass the ILS to the approach.
November 8 Bravo Whiskey, India is offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved, good night. Frequency change approved, we'll see you at Bravo Whiskey. Delta 1487, descend and maintain, flight level 330.
Delta 1487, descend and maintain 330.
Delta 2604, descend and maintain, flight level 330.
Descend and maintain, flight level 330 for Delta 2604. Delta 2604.
Delta 2573, can you go direct to Nesby?
Can you please repeat the Delta?
So the 2573, can you go direct to Nesby, November Echo Sierra Bravo India?
We're direct to Nesby for Delta 25.
So 2573, clear direct Nesby, cross Nesby at 3000, cleared ILS, runway 2 and left approach.
We're direct to Nesby, we're crossing to Nesby at clear for the ILS to the left.
That's going to be 3000 and the ILS 21 left, 21 left.
Cross it at 3000, the ILS.
Delta 2573, the wind's 1505, runway 2 and left clear.
One left, clear land, Delta 25.
Delta 1126, keep rolling down the runway, exit at the next high speed. Very bad. Delta 2573, I'm going to be closing. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Good night.
Okay, perfect. Frequency change approved for Delta 2573. Have a good night.
So yeah, the CTAB down at Metro is 135.0.
135.0. Thank you.
Cleveland Center, Envoy 3587 with you, flight level 270 for flight level 340. I know you're getting off, but we're just contacting you to get a little bypass.
Envoy 3587, Cleveland Center low. Unfortunately, I am closing up. You can remain on Unicom.
Roger that for Envoy 3587. We'll do the bypass ourselves.
Good night. Delta 1487, New York is closed. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Good night.
Delta 1487 off the advisory. Thank you for your services today.
No problem, see you. Delta 2604 closing. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Good night.
On Unicom 122.8 for Delta 204.
Yeah, Lindbergh 4447 is in for you. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Good night.
Further advisory, Lindbergh 4447. Thanks for the service, see ya.
Blue Sheik 103, unfortunately, can't get you into Buffalo. Gotta close up. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. See ya.
Frequency change approved. Thank you, Mercer. Hope you have a good night. This is 3.0.
Envoy 4140, I'm closing up. Actually, Envoy 4140 at pilot's discretion. We're going to maintain flight level 230.
Alright, PD to 230, Envoy 4140.
Envoy 4140 closing up. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. See ya.
Alright, good night, Nick. Envoy 4140.
Thanks. Yeah. And the United 8122 cross late run VOR and maintain flight level 350. United 8122 cross Sierra Lima Tango at maintain flight level 350.
Fasten seatbelt signs are coming on. We're expecting to descend very shortly as Cleveland Center is closing, and I want to
United 8122, I'm closing up. Radar
be able to
service
be
terminated.
below
Frequency change
250
approved.
knots, below 10,000 feet. So. Everyone buckle
Sun
up
Country
and get ready to
1057,
descend.
Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. See ya.
Over to advisory, Sun Country 1057. Have a good night.
So the 1126, welcome to Detroit, taxi parking via.
Alright. So we're over on advisory 122.8, and Buffalo CTAF is 120.5. So we will have that on standby. Okay, 1205. when we're 40 miles from top of descent, we will, maybe like 20 to 30 miles from top of descent, we'll go ahead and begin actually descending. I like to descend early here because the plane does a much better job at maintaining 250 knots below 10,000 feet, so. Doing that, we know that we're going to get runway 23. Those winds are 220 at 3. So runway 23, this is what I want to do. So I want to go to the arrival. This is going to load. Of course, it's going to send us back to that home page. Yep. Go for the approaches. We'll do the ILS 23 around here. Now we do have a procedure turn here that we could execute, but what I want to actually do is set up for a visual. So we're going to do vector ourselves to final. We're going to do something a little bit different this time. Instead of doing that procedure turn that I always do when I fly in here, we're just going to basically fly a traffic pattern as best as we can, and sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Best as we can. And then we'll do it visually. We know that the procedure turn works. We know that we can do it. Now we're going to do clump. Vectors to final here. Which is the auto marker. Okay, cool. Just look at the map here and verify that that makes sense. We'll zoom out and everything does in fact look good. So we will do a left to downwind for runway 23. And we want to be 2,300 by the time we get to clump, so let's go ahead and set the altitude bug on the autopilot to 2,300. We got 2,300 here. We're looking for the ILS. The localizer frequency is 111.3. There we go. 111.3 for nav2 and 111.3 for nav1. Those are both set. That's good. Final approach course is 235, so we'll set that in the course and course bug for the autopilot. That's looking good on both sides. Yep, that's what we like to see. The next thing is going to be minimums. The minimums on this ILS are 926, although it's perfectly VFR, so I'm not expecting to hit minimums or anything like that. Oh, 926, not 46. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, minimums are 926. And let's go ahead and start our descent now. Alright, that's all set, and then the last thing we will do is put our performance info in and get ourselves a landing en route. Get all that information in there. Import weather at Buffalo 3002. Calculate, so VREF is going to be 144. And the landing distance required is 56.43 and we got 75.82, so that's plenty of runway. 144, so we'll go to our init ref page and it brings us right to the approach. So we're doing a flaps 30 landing at 144 knots, so we'll put that in there and then we should be good to go on the PFD here, which we are. Cool. And the altimeter is 3002. And now we descend. And the closer we get, the more we'll start setting ourselves up for that left downwind and we'll come into land. Alrighty, we are passing through 13,300 in our descent towards Buffalo, and it looks like there's traffic in front of us, so I'm going to go ahead and tune in to Buffalo CTAF right off the bat, although they're on 122.8 according to VATSIM radar, so we're going to have to... I mean, we're faster than them, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm just... We're currently at about 7,000. Okay. Nothing for this traffic. I'm gonna go on the external view and just see. He's over there off to our right side, a little bit underneath us. Hopefully we can get ahead of him. He's not showing off. He's not showing up on my TCAS, which is very interesting, but whatever. We'll turn our landing lights on, and we'll turn on our taxi light. We'll just say that we're cleared ourselves for landing, because ATC's not on the line. So we have the altimeter set 3002, we have our minimum set, our VREF speeds are set, everything on the autopilot's looking good. We're still descending, the plane is doing a good job slowing down to 250 as we approach 10,000 feet. So we are set for 10,000 feet, that looks good. I'm trying to figure out what... It's a Cessna 310, so we are significantly faster. And verify... Oh yeah, we're big time passing them, cool. Sweet. Shouldn't be much of an issue. Alright, zoom into 20 miles on the MFD. And what we're going to do is, what is field elevation over here? 720 something, so 2,300. Okay, that's a decent pattern altitude. I'm going to go down to, and we'll stay at 2,300, that's fine with me for the altitude. That's what we'll treat as quote-unquote pattern altitude. Alright. Right, and we are below 250 knots, which is really, really good. Gonna be 20 miles from the airport very shortly. We're gonna switch over to 120.5. That is the Buffalo CTAF frequency. And we'll keep the speed where it's at for now. I don't quite have the airport in sight yet, but I'm sure I will very shortly. Oh, there we go. The runway just kind of poked through right there. Alright, so we're going to take our heading selector and set ourselves up for a left downwind to try and keep a little bit of distance away from that runway so we're not going straight at it. And we'll start slowing down here. So speed intervention, we're going to go to... We'll go straight down to 210 because we're coming within 10 miles of the airport. And we'll deploy the speed brakes to help us slow down a little bit here. Buffalo traffic, Sun Country 1057 is about 10 miles to the west-southwest. Going to be entering a left downwind for a runway 23 Buffalo. Southwest, west, like I'm Patrick from SpongeBob. East, I thought you said west. Oops. Because you know I totally can speak. Alright, so we're setting up for a downwind down to 210 knots. We do have spoilers deployed, but this thing struggles a lot to slow down, as we know, so we'll just be patient. And then we'll slow down to 180 when we're midfield left downwind. I'm almost tempted to take this whole thing by hand. I would prefer to be down to 2,300 already, but the VNAV slowed the descent rate down a little bit as we got closer. Our landing lights are on, taxi lights are on, cool. We're below 250, so I'll go ahead and drop the slats, and then when we're midfield left downwind, I'm going to do flaps 5. And then hopefully we'll slow down. And I also do think I want to drop the landing gear flaps 5 as well. Okay, we're going to go flaps 5 now. And that is Buffalo Lancaster over there, off to our right side. Or maybe it's Clinton Field. No, it's not gonna tell us. Okay. Buffalo traffic, Sun Country 1057, midfield left downwind, runway 23, Buffalo. Alright, we're going to drop the landing gear. And before I take it by hand, I'll just get us set up. We'll take out the speed brakes now that we have some drag. And let's actually go to 170 knots here. And we'll go flaps 15, verify 3 greens on top, which yes we do have. We'll arm the speed brakes, and we'll go auto brake 3. kind of curious to see how I can do this flying by hand, so auto throttle is going to come off. Walk a little bit of power out of there. And we'll slow down. We'll begin a left turn. Buffalo traffic, Sun Country 1057 is turning left base, runway 23, Buffalo. Oh, and that's quite a descent, so let's not do that. And we'll go flaps 30, since we're already so close to our VREF speed, unintentionally. This is going to be very interesting. I've never hand flown a visual pattern with a 737 into a runway like this. I've done it with a CRJ and that turned out okay, but the 737 is just a little bit bigger and more of a handful. So we'll make sure that we don't screw that up. Buffalo traffic, Sun Country 1057 is turning final, runway 23, Buffalo. And we can start a descent now at 500 feet per minute. That's a little too quick. Did I overshoot final? Yes, I did. Wow. Not enough rudder, or maybe I turned a little bit too late, but that's alright. We'll get back in on final there. What an embarrassing overshoot. That was a heavy overshoot right there.
1,000.
Okay. Looking good on that glide slope, though. I'm kind of surprised that we overshot, though, because I thought I turned kind of early. Maybe the winds are doing something that I'm not quite realizing. Use trim to our advantage here.
500.
There we go. Kind of snap on track here. Getting kind of slow, so let's get some pitch in there, pitch down.
Approaching minimums.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
Minimums.
We're fine on the glide slope. 2 whites, 2 reds. Come on.
100.
Don't want to
50.
create
40.
it.
30. 20. 10.
And we'll hold it. Oh, what a greaser. And we were within that touchdown zone. A little bit on the later side, but nothing terrible. Alright, we have 2 in reverse. Holding back pressure for some aerodynamic braking. And I'm going to take off the auto brake. And 60 knots reversers are coming off. And the spoilers can go down. Alright, let's go ahead and start that APU as we exit the runway. Buffalo traffic, Sun Country 1057 is clear of runway 23, taxiing to gate 11, Buffalo. Alright, wing inspection lights are off, strobes are off, landing lights are off. Go to the outside view, and I'm looking for that traffic on final. Oh, there he is. He's still quite a bit out there. Alright, let's clean up the flaps. We'll go up top here. Turn off the yaw damper. And this kid, oh, he is on CTAF now. Huh. Okay, our flaps are up, that's good. We are going to gate 11. That is where Sun Country parks at Buffalo. And thanks to me having the Buffalo scenery, there's actually lights on the apron over here, so I can turn off the taxi lights so I don't blind the ground crew and taxi into the gate. Gate 11 has a little bit of a weird turn in here, so we're going to slow down just a little bit. Turn a little bit on the later side so we can really crank that nose wheel over. Like so. Oops, didn't mean to slam on the differential brake like that. Oops. I bet in real life it's a lot more difficult to slam on the brakes like that.
7 miles final for ILS 23, Buffalo Jumper.
Okay, so he made his call. He's doing the ILS when it's perfectly VFR, but you know, that's probably fine though, so he doesn't overshoot final the way that I did. I mean, what's strange is it doesn't look as bad on VATSIM maps as it does when we were doing it, but it was pretty bad. I'll just stop her right there. How good did we do here? A little bit off center, but that's okay. That's just fine. Alright, we're going to set the parking brake. We're going to cut off the engines. The fasten seatbelt signs are coming off. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing APU gen. I don't really know what just popped up over on my left side. That's weird. Okay, we're on the APU generator because I almost forgot to do that. That's unfortunate. APU bleed is coming on. Packs are staying on auto. Engine bleeds can come off. Alright, let's get this dome light on so we can actually see what we're doing. Yaw dampers off. Fuel pumps except for left forward are coming off. Good to go. Fasten seatbelts are off. Hydraulic pumps can come off. So can the window heats. Alright, looking good there. And the beacon can come off as well. We're below 20% N1 on the engines. And they're set, so let's go ahead and get that jetway connected for us. So we'll set some chocks. We'll get that jetway coming over here. Wait for it to connect. Alright, it's connected. Let's get that door open.
Buffalo traffic number 773 at about 3 mile final now, runway 23, Buffalo.
Okay. Just to verify we are completely in a turnaround state. Yes, we are. Alright. So, yeah. Let's go in the terminal over here. I love that you can do that. Go in the terminal and get a view like that. It's actually spectacular in my opinion. Okay. So, yeah. So like I said that before, this particular route, this Minneapolis-Buffalo route is personal to me. It's a tale of two homes is what it is. And, you know, while I'm waiting on the viewership to pick up and stuff like that, I'm just doing the flights that I like to do. And this is one that I really, really like to do. So I keep with it every once in a while, and it's, you know, once I pick up the viewership and stuff like that, you're going to see a significant amount less of this route. But until then, I like to do it, and you viewers got to come in and tell me where you want to see me fly. That's the biggest thing. So, yeah. Anyway, that flight was overall kind of tough. We had a WASM crash right after startup, or just before we were about to taxi out of MSP, and because of that, the restart took too much time, and I am not going to be able to do the return flight to MSP. It's going to take too long, and it's going to run me too late, and I'm trying to get used to an earlier, better schedule, so I do have to call it here, unfortunately. After that WASM crash, it was okay. We got out just fine. A little bit fumbly with ATC. My English was suffering horribly for some reason, but we got with it. Nice, easy descent into Buffalo, and the approach was mostly good. Just overshot my base to final a little bit. I think it might have had something to do with the rudder. I'm not sure, but I was surprised that I overshot, seeing how early I started the final turn, but that's going to happen, I guess. But it was a smooth landing. We were a little bit past the touchdown zone just because, you know, I'm still trying to fine-tune the controls, but it was plenty legal. We didn't have to go around or anything like that, and it did ended up being a very smooth touchdown, and we stopped well before the end of the runway, so yeah. I don't know when the next stream is going to be. I'm still trying to figure everything out on my end outside of streaming and whatnot. So stay tuned. I will schedule one when I know what's going on, and I'll try and do something a little more either special or just entertaining for the flight next time. But yeah, so that's it. You guys have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you to those who tuned in and, you know, threw little chat skis in there. Thanks to all you guys who left a like. And if there's anything that you want to see in the future, you let me know and I can make it happen. All right. Take care. See